Hello everybody, this is Blossom from Tales Unfold, and today I want to share some information with you about writing for your healing journey. We are going to look at some basic information, and I also want to share an exercise with you. So let's have a look at that. Before we begin, I want to mention that this video is part one of a two-part video, and in this video we will explore expressive writing, and in the next video we will have a look at fiction writing for your healing journey. As you might know, this is very dear to my heart and I'm really looking forward to dive into that topic as well. But today, again, let's start with some basics. So everybody knows that this life is full of ups and downs. The ups, they come and they're great, but we don't fully embrace them often. We are not really fully present with them often. Not everybody, but for many this is the case. But when the downs come, they can hit us so hard, and often we are unable to let it go, and we have so much trouble to process it and to get ourselves out of that stuck state we often are in if we face anything traumatic, any kind of emotional upsets. When a traumatic event happens, it hits us out of the blue. Life as we know it changes forever within just moments, and we feel like we can't move on. Now, trauma healing is very complex, and it takes time and compassion to work through it. It's a long journey we now must take. So let's talk about a few options how you can deal with it. There are many ways to work on your trauma. First, there's therapy, hypnosis, guided journey, or guided journeys, soul retrieval, somatic therapy, EMDR, and so much more. But writing can also be an option. Writing is a powerful tool. There is the saying, the pen is mightier than the sword. And words are so powerful and carry great meaning and should be chosen carefully. People have been destroyed by nothing but words. Careers have been shattered, relationships destroyed because of words. So always be mindful about the way you speak to others and how you express yourself. But words also can raise people. Relationships can be mended through words, and words can bring healing. Trauma or big emotional upsets are getting more attention lately, which is good because people can find more tools to get them through that difficult time in their lives, and they don't feel as left alone anymore with it. It's also important to know that not everybody in the world has access to therapy. This might be because of financial issues, because therapists are booked out for months and even years, or simply because you cannot get to someone. And for that, I think it's important that we get as many tools for ourselves to help ourselves as possible. There is absolutely no shame in asking for help from an outside source, but it is also very empowering if we know we can help ourselves. We also took a step forward that trauma and PTSD can now happen, not can now happen, but are happening even without having to face war or having to face a violent act. All those traumatic events, everything that shatters your world, where you stop believing, what destroys you, it is trauma, right? It is not by how big or how small it is what happened to you, but it is your reaction to it. So betrayal, abuse, neglect can cause trauma. Betrayal trauma is a very own niche, and it happens to so many. So whenever you experience a high stress a really high stress situation and you can't shake it off, when you are overwhelmed and you can't access your usual coping mechanisms and strategies, you might experience trauma. In these situations, our bodies release cortisol and adrenaline. This is the body's automatic way of preparing to respond to danger, and we have no control over it. The effects of this hormone release can show up as freeze response, when you feel paralyzed or unable to move; fight response, fighting, struggling, or protesting; the flight response, when you're hiding or moving away; or the fawn response, trying to please someone who harms you. And those behaviors often continue long after the trauma is over and can affect your body, mind, soul, and spirit. If you have experienced any kind of trauma, either in the past or recently, you probably realize what a vast effect it has on your life. It is not just the experience itself, but it also affects all areas of your life. As I mentioned already, it can change your entire belief system, your trust in people in general. It can impact your relationships with family, friends, or your partner. And depending on your experience and what happened, it might even affect your finances, your job. To ease the symptoms of a traumatic event, we need to face it. Very early on, we might still be in shock, perhaps even in denial. And to some degree, this is actually helpful. This is our brain who protects us and avoids to get the full hit of it by distracting yourself in the early days of trauma. So we're talking really the first few days, maybe the first week, maybe even 2 weeks, who knows. You give yourself the option to deal with it in smaller portions. But when you think you are ready, you can try the following exercise. And this is expressive writing. In expressive writing, you sit down to write for about 10 to 15 minutes a day. And you can of course write longer if you like to. Or you set yourself a timer. So you just stop. So you really give yourself, I only want to do this 10 minutes. That's it. That's all I'm giving it. That's fine too. So set yourself a timer. Find a space where you feel safe and have little to no distraction. So also away with the phone. I know the timer is on the phone, but don't let yourself be distracted by anything else. And try to do this exercise for 4 days in a row. It doesn't matter if you write with a pen on paper or on your computer or on your pad, your tablet. It doesn't matter how you write. And you also don't need to worry about spelling or grammar. That's not the point of it. And if you like and you worry that anybody will ever find that and you really don't want anybody to ever read that, you can even write with your finger in the air. You don't need to keep record of it. Again, not the point of this exercise. You can also burn the paper afterwards if you like. So, and if you feel if 10 to 15 minutes are too long, you can switch it up by either rewriting what you have already written and use different expressions or words, or you can also add doodles or drawings around your text. So what can you write about? When you do this exercise, you can ask yourself the following questions. Why is this situation bothering me so much? How is this situation related to my past? Is there a pattern to it? How is this important to my relationships in my life? How is this related to the issues that are bothering me right now? And how is this affecting my work? Those are a few examples. You can write about the same thing, the same issue during those 4 consecutive days, or you choose a different situation each day. So it depends a bit if you have to work on a big trauma or if you are more covering several emotional upsets in your life. That is then again up to you. And after each session, ask yourself if it was helpful. It's normal to feel bad after writing about difficult situations and difficult experiences and emotions. So sadness, anger, remorse, confusion will rise to the surface. Allow yourself to feel them. But if you continuously feel worse after each session, or even still after weeks or months, it is possible that you dig something up that isn't ready to be faced yet. Only focus on what is already on your mind, so don't go deep within looking for it. If it's not right there, you don't have to dig for it. But if you still feel bad and worse and continue to feel worried, it might be time to get additional help. So the reason for doing this exercise is to put upsetting experiences into a language that you can understand and work with, and that's the way how you can process it. It slows down the obsessive thoughts, so that's why many will actually tell you that, using pen and paper, because that is already a slowing down process. I personally do it like this too, with pen on paper, but again, it's up to you. The memories of a situation let you believe you are still in danger right now. And those are your memories tricking you in a way. Your brain is tricking you. You think you are in danger. Because your brain, well, it's not tricking you, it's not but your brain has trouble to distinguish between the past and the present. And with this exercise, you can better navigate the landscape of your emotional distress. You can bring some distance between yourself and the situation by becoming the narrator of your story and not the main character. For some, it can also be helpful to meditate before or after. I would actually suggest to meditate after a writing session like that. That doesn't have to be a big meditation of half an hour, maybe just a few minutes where you take a few breaths in and out. And others might even wish to do a quick clearing and cleansing ritual. This can look like many things, like you could cut cords, or you could take a shower, do an aura cleanse, or even, like I mentioned already, burn the paper where you have written your experiences on. Do whatever feels right for you. So a cleansing ritual, like I say, cutting cords, that can just be having a selenite, a kitchen knife, just your hand, and you set the intention of cutting all energetic cords to that situation or to a specific person. So you cut all those energetic cords away. You can ask if you work with upstairs, with the universe, with a god or gods and goddesses, if you work with angels, if you work with the fae, whatever it is you work with, right? You can use that to assist you in a clearing and cleansing ritual after that, because it shall not take up your entire day. That's why we set the limit of 10 to 15 minutes. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you can also expand this exercise and turn your story into fiction. Either a poem, a short story, a haiku, or write an entire novel or an entire series, if that's something you always wanted to do. And I will share more tips about that then in the next video. If you have any questions or suggestions, or you want to write down your own experiences, did you do that already? Let me know in the comments. I would be so happy to hear from you. I hope this was helpful. Let me know again. And I wish you a wonderful day. I hope your world is kind. Much love and bye.